shed caught fire. It simply caught alight. And when they cleared the charred wood from the ground, inside they found a painting of a clown. He'd painted it when he was just a child, but scrawled upon the back was exactly when he died.
You all didn't see shit that first time. You didn't see shit. This is a surprise. The new god-awful screen is a surprise. Shut up. Hold on. There we go. Now you can see it in all of its god-awfulness, and I can move the window. You didn't see shit. Yeah, I know I need to change it. In my mind, it looked better than it actually is, so. This is another thing that's probably gonna change. A lot. I think I just needed to go with the darker green, and it would have looked better. I hate the lime at the top. So. We're gonna have to deal with this god-awful version for now. Because I said so. But yeah, we're gonna have to deal with this god-awful screen for the time being. It's fine, though. It's fine. It's chill. I made it in like 3 seconds, so... It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it later. Maybe. I don't know. I hate it. I'm probably gonna go with the darker green next time. Or I'll just change out the lime to be a more muted green. The lime was definitely not the right way to go. So, I'll fix it later. I'll fix it later. It's fine. It's not fine, but... Because the more I'm looking at it, the more I fucking hate it. So... that is god-awful. I didn't even blend things out correctly. Ugh. There's one, like, little, like, blended spot between the two, the middle green and the dark green. It's, like, not blended. It's, like, throwing me off. Ugh. Ew. And I'm not gonna take out my laptop so I can fix it now. That's not happening. Ew. Ew. let this round of When He Died finish, and then we'll play some Professor Layton. Because I need to stop looking at it, and I'm pretty sure the bottom screen covers it. And I need to stop looking at it. That just, I hurt, you know? Okay. That round of When He Died is over. Let me close that tab. And let me do the other thing that we need to do. Okay, which one are we playing? Unwound Future. Yeah, I remember things. I almost closed the overlay. It's fine. Welcome back to my personal hell, boys. It's time. It's time. Now, before we get into this, last time we played a Professor Layton game, it took like 3 streams. This one might take more. However, I'm not going to be able to stream on Friday because I have shit to do. That is exceedingly loud for me. I had to turn it down. God. Sorry. Anyway, conflicting schedules and shit I need to do, so I'm probably not going to be able to stream on Friday. So we'll see how far I can get in these 2. Don't plan on me streaming for long, though. Because I have, if you remember from last time, I have a paper I need to write that I haven't started. So. Because I have like 9 sources that I haven't read. I've only looked at the title. So I need to narrow that down to 5 that I can use. Yay. Because these ones are provided by the college, so I don't have to pay for them. Which is the peak of things that I'm looking for. Things that I don't have to pay for. Like, I know these researchers spend a lot of time on things, but I'm not paying $12 to rent your paper. I'm sorry. That's not... Sorry. I'm not doing that. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not spending $12 just to rent your paper you put in an academic journal for this paper. I'm not doing that. Sorry. However, I did see that for this paper, there's like a revision that you can do that's due end of this month-ish? Maybe next month? I'm not sure. But that means that I don't have to, like, strive for perfection. You know, I can leave a little filler things in. So, I can procrastinate on it longer. But yeah, that's going to be my main drive of things that I need to get done this week. Smile. Because the exams that I have to do are already planned. Right? So I'm just showing up to class and taking an exam. So I can just spend all the time worrying about this paper that I need to get done. You're late only a little bit. Only a little bit. Do the intro again? Okay, you got it. Hold on. Hold on. Is that good enough? I'm saying that's good enough. I'm saying that's good enough. There we go. I'm saying that's good enough. Anyway. Yeah. So, the paper. The paper that I'm complaining about. Because I procrastinated on it for about a month. Yeah, that's due. So, don't expect it to be long. Not the silent part of the intro? Ah, well, damn. I can't help it, man. You gotta go back and watch the VOD. I don't remember what I said. But yeah, I procrastinated on a paper. In case you weren't here the last time I was complaining about this paper. I procrastinated. I did it to myself. I'm aware of that. But now I have a 100-point paper due in a week. I have not started. So, anyway, as I was saying. So, because of that, it's gonna be short stream, not streaming on Friday just because I have things that I actually need to do. That, you know, schedule conflictions that can't be rectified. Wasn't it due last week? Nope, due this week. But I just kind of started going on and on and on about the paper because, if you can't tell, it is the only thing on my mind. It is the only thing that I'm thinking about right now because I'm very worried. I'm like, oh shit. I have a schedule, so I'm gonna stick to it as best as I can. You have a bigger brain. I doubt that. I doubt that. But I want to at least get the outline and sources done by Tuesday. Because in reality, like, in all reality, and I need to keep telling myself this, this is not a hard paper. The hard part is research. That is the hardest part of this paper. We don't need to have direct quotes. He said he's taking off 10 points if we have direct quotes in this paper. I just need to summarize what is going on and how it pertains to my thesis statement. I have done harder papers. The research is the hardest part. And I need to keep telling myself that, because if I don't, I'm gonna think that this is the worst thing imaginable. So, short stream, so I can get those like 9 to 10 sources that I found before I went into a lab today sorted out. So that'll be fun. Anyway, let's play a Professor Layton game. Oh, I don't have to type it out this time. Like, draw it out. Obviously, the disclaimer, this is a work of fiction. It's because it takes place in London, but the Big Ben isn't real. Damn it, I knew it. I knew it. Pretend it's the Owl House and you're making a recap on the subject. That's what I'm planning. Because it's basically what it is. Paper itself is not hard. The actual writing of it is not going to be the difficult part. Wow, it's a 2-story bus.
It just doesn't seem to add up, Professor.
I honestly thought you were pulling my leg.
What? I wouldn't dream of it.
Sure. Sure. You mess with them all the time, dumbass. He does.
Professor, I hope this letter finds you well. As for me, I am in quite a predicament. You see, the London we know and love has been thrown into absolute chaos.
No one love. Yep. Love London. London!
To complicate matters, the calamity I speak of does not take place in your time. This may be difficult to believe, but I am writing to you from 10 years in the future. I know this is a lot to take in, but I'll explain it all soon.
I finished the semester, and on my, I'm gonna assume that's the thing, it said I still have 2 papers due 3 months ago. I love that. So do I. Not 2 papers, but like quizzes, randomly. It's like, yeah, that was due like beginning of the semester, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't do it. Anyway, by the way, before we're going into this, I know the entire plot. I know what happens in this game. I'm not going to tell you fuckers, but I know exactly what happens in this game. So if I say anything that could possibly allude to things, know that I'm probably joking, because I'm not gonna tell you shit. So if I say something extremely and obviously sarcastic, it's because I'm probably trying to lead you a different way, thinking-wise. Because I can. So, before we go into that, I thought I should make that known.
For now, I ask that you head to the clock shop on Midland Road in Baldwin. I look forward to seeing you again.
Like the Alec variety.
Your student, Luke Triton.
Student.
Strange as it sounds, it seems that the author of this letter is none other than your future self, Luke.
From my future self? But how is that even possible?
I don't know, you're the video game character.
I don't know, but it does raise the question, if this letter is indeed authentic, how did it get
Mute
here?
your mic for the whole game? Got it.
By time-traveling postman? Just joking, of course. But on a more serious note, I think this mystery might be the oddest one we've ever encountered.
Indeed. And even in the future, you seem to need my help in solving it.
I just screamed a bunch of spoilers and you'll never know. You'll never know. You'll never know what I just said. You'll never know. You are none the wiser. I just spoiled the entire game while muted and you would never know.
Your constancy can be quite a comfort in these uncertain times, my boy.
Well, thank you, I suppose. But back to the main question. How do we know the letter is real?
Well, we haven't much to go on yet.
I just realized motherfucker's in a double-decker bus. the most stereotypically British thing ever, and it's literally a double-decker bus.
But I can't help but think that this strange occurrence is connected to the
At least you
terrible
got it out
events
of your
of last
chest.
week.
Sure. Terrible events of last week. Are we getting a flashback? Ooh. Professor Layton has received a letter from the most unlikely of places, the future. The author claims to be Luke, but writing from 10 years in the future. But how is that possible? Did you ask guest for the meme recording? No, I did not. Because guest has basically been only working again. Welcome to the joys of having a full-time job. Because she has a full-time job.
It all started about a week ago.
Oh, that's a song lyric.
Alpha distributor, I was able to guide a concentrated stream of Hammer particles through a temporal vortex, more commonly known as a wormhole. This stream of particles allowed me to divine the terminal points of the vortex.
It's the 1920s and they invented time travel. Hold on, let me.
Distort the flow of time and generate a massive magnetic field via a Sula coil. Once the magnetic field is firmly established, one has the ability to quite literally punch holes or hive gaps into the very fabric of space-time. After this crucial step, it is simply a matter of constructing an energy gate.
Quite the spread we have here, Inspector.
I love Barton so much. It's so loud. I turned it down a little.
Though, it does make me wonder what we did to deserve invitations to such a feast.
Barton reminds me of Kermit the Frog, and I love him for that.
It's obvious, Barton. I'm an influential man in the world of law enforcement. It's only natural I'd be invited to an important event such as this.
Obviously. You know, no, not because you're the law enforcement or whatever. Again, he sounds like Kermit the Frog. A little bit. Enough for the resemblance to be there.
Possible, you say?
Oh, shit.
Probable. Highly probable, sir.
Everyone reminds you of Kermit. No. No, just the Barton. The side. Ah! Some people are watching the event through the window. Person!
Oh, this food is simply dreadful, Bill. Do get this over with quickly so we can leave.
Oh my god!
Oh, yes, dear.
Bill Hawks.
I have to say, I feel a bit out of place here, Professor.
That's quite understandable, Luke. I'm sure most people would feel the same way in the presence of the Prime Minister.
Sorry.
Hey, look! I think I see Inspector Chalmey over there. So, Professor, what do you think about this whole event?
He's probably also like, why the fuck am I here? I did nothing to be here. Why am I here? He's probably like, I am an archaeologist. Why am I here? Seriously.
Do you believe that someone has really built a working time machine?
I'm not entirely sure. Still, if it proves to be true, can you imagine the stir it will cause in the scientific community?
Yep. And then weaponized and abused by governments. Because if they can change the past, they can erase entire nations. Millions and billions of people just at the whim of their own hubris. Yeah, because what we want is the government to be able to time travel. As if that's not a good start to a dystopian novel. Sure. With time travel, I am a time travel communist, I'll have you know. Power to the proletariat of time travelers. That belongs to the people.
Well, I, for one, am very excited. Though you don't sound entirely convinced, Professor.
What the fuck do you mean you don't believe that it's actual time travel? What do you mean?
Anything's possible, Luke. But I won't be convinced until I see
Yeah,
the
exactly.
contraption work for myself.
Exactly. The fuck do you mean you don't believe that time travel's a thing in the 1920s?
And I must confess, something about this entire presentation seems a bit off.
Ah, he's finally admitting to something. Wow. Layton never does that. You have to read his thoughts in his fucking journal. Seriously, he does not say shit in-game, but if you go to his journal, he is literally, like, writing everything down.
Why do you say that?
It's kind of funny. Like, he is summarizing the plot, but also pointing out things that are very questionable, that maybe he doesn't say much on in the game.
Ah, of course. That must be your famous intuition talking, huh?
That's one way of putting it. But enough speculation.
Yeah,
Look
that's
over
one
there,
way
Luke.
of putting the fact that I don't think that you could time travel in, like, the whatever fuck they are. I don't think it's the 20s, it might be the 30s or the 40s. I don't fucking know about English fashion to be able to pinpoint this bitch. Look, let's be real, we've already gone very much into the realm of steampunk. Time travel in the 20s. Just like Yep, pretty much. Like, time travel in the 1920s, what opium are you putting in your pipe, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
God? What about it?
Where you wake up 5 days later. Yep. I should have to mention here, I don't know how opium works, I'm not gonna lie. So, but all I know is it is a drug. It is drug. And that the British were very, they have a history with opium. A lot of it. Where they were very British about the opium. The same way that they are very British with the commandeering of other countries' historical artifacts. They were very British, very refined and all that, I guess. And shit, you know what I mean?
He seems to be looking for a man who snuck into the event uninvited.
Oh, so we have an intruder in our midst.
It's a very good sedative. Nice. Bet you people in his 20s didn't know that one. They probably just went, drug. The food is certainly nothing to write home about. Sorry you feel that way, sir. I think it's quite scrumptious myself. Bah, the oversalted chop and pile of wilted greens is nothing on Amelie. Sorry. I just got a flashback to my brother and me on Amelie's cooking. My name is Amelie. That cause addiction, like morphine. Okay. So it has medical use, I guess, nowadays, in a modern sense. Got it. If that's your feeling, sir, I'd be happy to relieve you of that burden. Now, see here, Barton, if you don't return me that shop at once, I'll have you driving a desk next week. It would be worth it. This roast is simply delectable. I guess we're supposed to click on this guy. What's going on? Oh dear, this is not going over well. You look troubled, sir. Might we be of any assistance? Oh yes, please. You see, I've received a report of some untoward behavior. Ah, that fucking puzzle. He's not allowed to just speak. There's an uninvited guest at the event, but the guard has received a few clues to his whereabouts. His table is next to one with a red flower. His tablecloth is different than any color next to it. Oh, and his table isn't decorated with a flower, with a yellow flower. Next to means tables are connected by dotted lines. Yeah, I know. Bring up the memo screen. Oh, we have colors now. Ugh. Ew. Okay, it actually stays up. Okay, that's better. That's better. I do not like the thin ones. Okay. This table is next to one with a red flower. Okay. Red flower, red flower, red flower. Help. I guess OBS didn't like us talking about morphine. It was in a historical sense. Come on, man. Are we back? I got it wrong. I'll assume we're all back. This is gonna go like one picaret. Okay, it only went down one. Okay. Next to one with a red flower. Red flower. Red flower. This tablecloth is a different color than any of those next to it. It's not this one. And is not decorated with a yellow flower. That could mean this one down here. Right? This time I thought it was your internet. Whoops. I don't know what just popped up. I think it was OBS. You're on mobile? Ew. Ew, mobile. Alright, we're gonna try this one down here. And if it's not this one, it's a trick question and it's one of these two. Because I'm used to this game's antics.
Here's my answer.
Alright, so it was one of the other two.
I guess it's back to the drawing board.
We'll start with the top one, then move to the bottom one. Start here, and then we'll move to this one.
This one's as good as solved.
I told you, I'm aware of this
Phew,
game's antics.
That's a relief.
They changed the correct and incorrect screens, by the way. Splendid work, my boy. About picker rats. Yeah. Thanks so much for your help. That fellow's mooching days are over. Did you see that, Professor? I just aided in the apprehension of a suspect. Oh, look, the presentation's about to begin. Let's get back to our seats.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He's the announcer from SpongeBob. Hold on. Hear his voice. He is the announcer from SpongeBob. Ladies and gentlemen. Just like fucking.
Thank you for taking part in an event that will undoubtedly go down in scientific history.
He's the announcer from SpongeBob. He's the SpongeBob guy. Breaking news.
And here to demonstrate mankind's first time machine is its creator, Dr. Alan Stungun.
His name is Stungun.
Thank you, my esteemed colleagues.
Okay.
After years of research
Definitely
in the
a
field
word.
of time travel, I'm
You mean the
pleased
news
to
anchor?
share
Yeah.
the fruits of my labor. In just a few short moments, I will be moving on to our scheduled demonstration.
Huh, fucker said scheduled. Fucker said scheduled. Okay. They're really leaning into the poshness of it all, aren't they?
First,
Jesus.
I'm delighted to announce that Prime Minister Bill Hawks is in attendance today. As such, I have reserved a very special seat for our very special guest. Please, join me on stage, Prime Minister. No need to be shy.
Because new technology and a world leader have never not ended terribly. He's gonna die or get kidnapped. Watch. Like the walking animation was just a PNG moving up and down. I do that too. It's a fun way of moving around. Watch this. Hold on. Watch this. I am walking. I am walking around. That. Hold on. Hold on. Can I turn myself around? There we go. I am walking around. Look at me. I am walking. That's what they're doing. Also, I know the character looks weird when he's turned the other way. I know. Shut up. I'm aware. I'm aware it looks bad. I made it. And I wasn't thinking that far ahead. One of these days, you'll draw the legs. If I draw the legs, it'll literally just be two fucking, like, L shapes coming out of my legs. Coming out of the bottom half of this, and it'd be funny.
What do you mean?
I mean, is this contraption a genuine working time machine?
He said genuine. That's how you know this is British.
Why don't you have a seat? See for yourself.
Stagan's voice sounds familiar. Why does his voice sound familiar? He's played someone else in these games. Right? He has to have.
Before we start,
Oh my God.
would you honor us with a few words, Prime Minister?
Prime? Like, what the f- Cargo shorts and flip-flops? Perhaps. Why does he look like Grunkle Stan? It's the square. It's the head for a square.
Good afternoon, everyone.
It's the square head and receding hairline.
Today is a monumental day, not only for our great nation, but for the entire human race. Since the beginning of time, we humans have strived to transcend our natural limits.
If this guy's proving anything, it's that politicians are good at shoving shit outside their mouth from their ass. You know what I mean? Also, that could have come out way worse, just so you know. I was struggling for a second.
We have conquered the skies and the seas, and we have even traveled to outer space.
This is the 20s. What are you doing in space already? Okay. So I'm guessing it's a more... It is very steampunk. Because we didn't get to space till, like, the 70s, right? Like, humans didn't get to space till, like, the 70s? 50s? When does this game take place? Hold on. I don't think the towns would be looking like this if it was a... But the whole plot of the game is they want to find a way to go... If they want to age cheese faster. The cheese market would implode, I'll have you know.
But the one frontier that has always eluded us is... time.
Dramatic pause for effect.
Indeed. Traveling through time is a dream many thought was out of reach for humanity. Until now.
You see, at this point, actually a couple sentences before, is the point where I would have started actively tuning this guy out, because I'm kind of tired of hearing him talk, and I just want to see it at this point. Seriously, he's talking too much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will join me in ushering in a new era for mankind.
It's at this point that he gets shot.
Thank you for those words, Prime Minister.
I hate your voice.
And now for the moment you've
in the best way
been
possible, I
waiting
hate
for.
your voice.
Please take it away, Dr. Stangan.
It's not the way that he talks. It's not the voice itself. It's the inflection. I hate the inflection.
I have just one more request.
I know it's not supposed to sound natural, but like, come on. You know what I mean?
I'd very much appreciate the Prime Minister's assistance in this demonstration.
It definitely sounds like you're about to kill him.
What do you say, Mr. Hawks?
It sounds like you're gonna kill him.
What?
Yeah, even he's like, that sounds like you're planning to murder me.
I assure you, there's no cause for concern.
Moments before disaster.
But I was under the impression that I would merely be observing the proceedings.
Yeah, I'd be worried for my safety too.
Ah, well, do forgive my presumption. It was never my wish to make you uncomfortable.
That's what he sounds like. Oh my god, I just figured out. He reminds me of Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror. That's what his voice is reminding me of. It's Dr. Frankenfurter.
I realize it's been some time since you traded in the hard sciences for the softer variety.
It even had that, like, slight upwards inflection at the end. Although if it were Frankenfurter, it'd be softer variety. It'd be a little bit higher at the end for the inflection. No, he reminds me of Dr. Frankenfurter.
Please, feel free to return to your seat, Prime Minister.
Also, the T's aren't as enunciated.
Wait,
Don't know what Rocky Horror is? Rocky Horror is a movie from, like, the 70s? I think it's, like, the 70s? And it features, like, I know that Meatloaf is in the movie. He plays a character and, like, immediately dies. There's a lot of good songs, you know. If you don't know what the plot is, at least you have some good songs. And it very quickly became a cult classic, at least here in the States. I don't know how it is for you, but it kind of became a bit of a cult classic in the States. I liked it when I watched it. Although, you know, some parts definitely aged like milk.
Bill, have you lost your mind?
Have you fucking lost it?
That's the courage we've come to expect from our fearless leader. You have my thanks.
Yep, it's a Frankenfurter inflection. It's definitely a Frankenfurter inflection. You don't even have to hear it. You don't even have to think that hard if you heard Frankenfurter.
Without further ado, I give you my time machine.
Tim Curry. God, the voice of an
Mr.
angel, that man.
Hawks, would you mind just stepping inside?
Anything for you, Tim Curry. Oh, this is where he dies. This is where he dies, by the way. He looks so fucking short. Not even gonna look at the shit that it's spitting out. Say a silent prayer to God before you leave. The glare. Oh, yeah, he's definitely dead.
Huh?
Yep, he died. I told you, that's definitely something you say before killing a public figure.
Something's gone very wrong.
You don't say!
Where is he? Someone find Bill!
There she goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm and refrain from panicking.
This is
The microphone
chaos.
isn't even connected to anything.
Prime Minister and Dr. Stungun had vanished.
My word.
Why does he care so much? Time machine demonstration goes awry.
So you think that what happened last week is somehow connected to this letter?
I'm sorry, the blinking anime, he looks so fucking weird. And it is the eyes. It's the fact that his eyes are just complete fucking circles. Wait for him to blink. He just reminds me of a me. You know what I mean? Like on the Wii, he looks like you could make him on the Wii very, very easily. And that is not an insult, that is just a fact.
Wait, maybe if the time machine
So
was
does
real,
Luke, to be
this
completely
letter is
honest.
real
But
too.
Layton looks even more fucking weird.
I don't know about that, but these two elements aren't the only puzzling issues.
Wait a minute. I was looking at him. How tall is Professor Layton? Because if, like... Is all of his height in his legs or something? Because they're torsos, even if you straightened it out. Luke is, like, still, like, almost all the way up his torso. Like, Luke is, like, at chest height. Like, his shoulders are, like, at chest height. How tall is Layton? He's short as shit.
Tell me, Luke, have you heard about the recent
He is so fucking
disappearances
short.
occurring here in London?
God, short king, we love it.
Oh yes.
How
I
fucking
read about it in the
short.
paper.
Like, if I could draw a line to make the perspective seem a little bit easier for you guys. My god.
Some of London's greatest scientists have been mysteriously vanishing.
Yes, and I can't shake the feeling that those disappearances are
Luke
linked
has to be
this
like
whole affair.
5 something or other. He's like 5 foot already.
In any case, it seems our best course of action is to head to the location mentioned in the letter.
Good idea.
Missing leader. The Prime Minister Bill Hawks mysteriously disappeared during the time machine demonstration. No trace of him was found, so where could he possibly be now? I mean, if you were to jump to the conclusion, the thing would be sometime in the past and or the future. So it's either he was killed by some dinosaurs, or he was killed by the British government. So, make up your mind here, you know what I mean? They were sitting at the top, too. Okay, most of his height must be in his legs, because this is definitely not in his torso.
What awaited us was one of the biggest
Yeah, his height is
mysteries
all
we've
in his
ever
legs.
encountered.
Okay, I was correct. I was correct. All of his height is in his legs. Okay. But then again, I guess you can't expect a game from 2009 to be lore and height accurate?
Somehow, a single letter had made its way back through time. And the sender, strange as it sounds, was me. The future me, that is. Little did we know that this letter would draw us into the strangest of situations.
So what, the letter came from you at 23? He's 13, right? Like 13, 12-ish? Something along those lines? Boink. Oh, there's Flora. Ooh. This game is set up very differently compared to the other two. But then again, I know exactly why the other two were set up very different. Because those two were literally made in, like, quick succession, you know what I mean? Here we are. The clock shop the letter mentioned should be around here somewhere. But where? Hold on. There we go. My chapstick was being weird. Thanks, Luke. This seems like the ideal time to consult the map that accompanied the letter. Here, Luke. See if you can find the shop state location by yourself. Say no more, Professor. Oh, God. It's another puzzle. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. Below is a map to the clock shop that has accompanied the letter from future Luke. Using the times at the side of the map as clues, find the shop. Draw a circle around the letter. Huh? 12, 3, 12, 9, 6. Okay. Okay. Let's brain this out. Okay, so it's a list of times. As directions? So I'm guessing we're thinking of this as like an analog clock, right? Because the arrows, and because it's only the hours, I'm guessing we're following the hour. Take a screenshot and show us on Paint. I can do this here. What are you talking about? So 12 is going to be straight up. 1, 2, 3. This could be either straight up or straight down. 9, 6. We'll see where these land us. So 12, 3. Okay, so then if we're gonna go this way, it has to be 12 upwards. Then we can't go that way. Three. No. Yeah, there's no way. We go up another block. 12. 3. 12. 9. 6. So it'd have to be H in that case. Twelve. 3. 12. 9. Yeah. We'll go with H because it's the only one that I can come up with for now.
How about this?
I wrote that when you were thinking about
no
the height.
puzzle can stop Layton's apprentice.
Well, maybe reload your player, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to fix that one. Yeah, I guess I can't expect it to be height accurate. Because now if Luke were to stand up, his head would be about here. And on the train, his shoulders would have been about here. On Layton. His head would be about here. I guess you can't expect them... Well, you guys can't even see what I'm pointing at anyway. It's not like you can see a cursor or anything there. Whatever. I guess this is a bit more height accurate. Kind of. Not fully, though. Because on the train, Luke was like a smidge shorter. Great, finding the shop should be a snap now. Let's go, Professor. Yeah, I know how to move. I know how to move. I know how to move. Whoop! Oh my god, you gotta tell us about the coins. I forgot. I forgot the game does this so they can find hint coins. Yep. Yep. Hint coins. I know. I've played a game before. I've played a Layton game. Say, Professor, how are we gonna keep track of our progress? Yeah. Yep, the trunk. You find the save. You see the puzzle index, mysteries table, and Layton's journal. Can we walk past this guy? Yes. It's you again. Oh, God. You're looking for the clock shop, you say? Nah, I can't say no of one around here. Alright, well, thanks just the same. Oh, wait a moment. Thinking on it again, I might have passed a clock shop just the other day. Terrific! Do you remember where you saw it? Not that I'm sure of. I have trouble remembering stuff like this when I have other things on the mind. Help me with this puzzle I've had on my brain, and I might be able to help you see the shop. I can read. I happen to be a puzzle whiz. Bus. Alright. It takes 1 hour to get to the office by bus. Your work takes 2 hours to complete, after which you catch the bus home. Based on departure times listed below, which bus, A, B, C, D, or E, should you take to work in order to minimize the wait for the ride home? Alright. 5. This is 5 hours plus a half. And it takes 1 hour by bus, 2 hours to complete. So you need 4. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
How about this? I knew it!
I can brain. I know how to do those things. Nice going, kid. So what about the clock shop? Right, the clock shop. It's somewhere on the road, I think. Well, gotta scoot. See you later. He ran off. Something tells me he was more interested in getting us to help solve his riddle than helping. Not to worry, though. I'm sure we can find the clock shop on our own. It's probably just a bit further down this path. Yeah, that's what I already checked, but I can't go forward. You. Can't say I've ever seen you two whippersnappers before. You sure about that? I feel like we've met before. This guy was in the first game. Oh, no. You must be thinking of someone else. But enough about that. I've got some juicy information you two might want to hear. Well, if you're gonna tell us about hint coins, there's no need to continue. The nice woman back there already gave us the full explanation. What? But explaining hint coins was just about the only time we ever get to chat. You could let someone else... How could you let someone else give my speech? So I guess you're saying we have met before. I'm suddenly not feeling too hot. Better head home. See you fellas around. Bye. Okay, now I can go forward. Clock. This must be the place, Professor. Ah, finally. I'll get the door. Don't open. Huh? What seems to be the matter, Luke? The door's locked. How are we supposed to get in? Let me have a look. Ah, of course. It seems we need a puzzle to open the door to gain entrance. It's always puzzles. Always puzzles. My least favorite part of the game, which is also the sole game mechanic. We've arrived at the clock shop. The door doesn't seem to be... There doesn't seem to be a way to open the door. While you're looking for doorknobs, a voice calls out, press the panel with the timepiece. What panel do you press? Remember, you can only press one. With the timepiece? What's considered a timepiece? Because you have this entire thing, but that's, of course, not an entire thing. You have this one, which is the minute hand, which also could be a thing. But you have to click... So this one is an option. These ones will not matter at the end here. I'm also gonna go ahead and cross all these ones out. Just because of this kind of crossing all of them. So if this entire motif doesn't count, I'm gonna say the whole thing doesn't count. This has an hourglass in it, so it could be that one. Which would seem more logical than this, to be completely honest. Because it's 20 Pickerats, it's probably more logic-based than anything, if I were to take a wild guess here. And then I can't find a reason to not pick this one. Here. Oop. Wrong one. Because this has another piece the same way this does. And then these two just have nothing to do with anything. So we've narrowed it down to 3. Press the panel with the timepiece. Looks like a dick. I'm gonna say the hourglass is probably the best option here. Right? Because this is a second hand, this is the minute hand, and this is the hour hand. Right? But these are just kind of, you know... I don't know, it doesn't feel as strong as an hourglass, you know what I mean?
Here's my answer.
Okay, I was right.
I knew it!
Hourglass is best option here. That did the trick. Oh, cutscene. God, that room would piss me off. They're all out of sync.
Huh? Look, over there!
What's this?
He tipped his hat. The time machine! Ooh! Oh, gracious customers. We haven't had any of those in ages. Welcome. Good day to you, madam. You'll have to excuse us, but we're not actually here to shop. You see, we received a letter from the other day pointing me here. To you, a letter, you say? Let me have a look at it, dearie. Yes, there's no mistake here. Whoever sent this wanted you to visit our little shop. So you don't know the person that sent this letter? Unfortunately, I can't say I do, but I do know who you are, Professor Layton. Oh, really? And how do you know the professor? To you, it's not hard to notice the man who's been in the paper so often. And I do so love my morning paper. I read it front to back every day. So of course I know the professor. Do you hear that, Professor? Further proof you're famous all throughout London. Even all the way out here. Hey now, what does it mean all the way out here? Just because we don't fancy living in the sardine tin flats doesn't mean that we're not centrally located. Still, it's quite a surprise to see the famous Professor Layton in the flesh. I'm gonna need some proof before I believe you're not just some celebrity impersonator. He's a celebrity now. Oh my god! Okay. It's so dark in the shop that I'm having trouble seeing these tiny needles and thread. Can you help me out of this jam, dearie? There are 2 threads, A and B. How many needle eyes does thread A pass through? Okay. Thread A. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm seeing 9.
That should do the trick.
How did I know?
I was sure my logic was sound.
Yeah, I know. I just don't trust myself on these fucking puzzles. Alright, I probably missed one and it's 10. Watch me recount and get 10. Because 9 is a weird number. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, starting with A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, I'm still getting 9. 1, it goes under. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it is 10. Okay, yeah. I was correct in going, it's a weird number, I just didn't count.
Do the trick.
I can't count.
Well, that's settled.
I can logic, but I can't count. It's a tragedy. Well, I, for one, am thoroughly convinced. You certainly do live up to your reputation. Of course he does. Well, yes, about that letter. I can't say I've seen it before, but my husband might know something about it. He's out right now, but he should be back any minute. Why not take a look around the shop while you wait? Wow, can you believe this clock? It's certainly impressive. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to work. Well, there is no shortage of ways to tell time here. You just reminded me of a splendid puzzle, Luke. Oh, great. Okay. This analog clock fell off the wall and hit the floor so hard the numbers popped off. What a mess. The clock also stopped working when it hit the ground. But even without the numbers, it can still tell exactly what time it felt. What time is the clock showing? Don't worry about AM and PM. I already fucked up. So there are like 2 options here. I haven't had to read an analog clock since like elementary school. Okay, little hand is the hour hand. Seriously, I have not had to read an analog clock since elementary school. So it's pointing at 8. At 8:05? Right?
How about this? What? I don't know what to say.
Visualize an analog clock. Okay, maybe my numbers are off. Okay, then it has to not be in that order, because if it's in that order, it's 8:05. God. If we assume that they fell in a similar location to where they're currently sitting, is that a 9? I'm gonna assume that that's a 6 and that's a 9. 6 o'clock?
How about this?
Okay, you did have to assume that they were in a
That's a relief.
similar place, yeah. Similar place to where they fell. If it's straight up and down, the numbers there were like 6, 5, and 11. Straight up and down, it had to be 6 if we were to take those 3 numbers into account. You know, I've never seen a clock this big up close. It's a real shame it seems to be broken. Got a hint coin. Another puzzle. Yes, they're all extremely made. Whoever built them is tremendously talented. Really? How can you tell by just looking at them? No, one gains an eye for all these things with age, my boy. You know, I have a superb puzzle about clocks. Care to try? What if I don't want to? What if I just want you to tell me the answer for once? Numberless clock that some prankster has rotated an unknown amount. The clock is still running normally though, and each colored circle on its face represents an hour. Even without the numbers, you can still see what time it is. Write down the exact hour. It doesn't matter. Okay, okay. We have to think in the sense of how clocks work, right? The arrows are going, huh? And huh. The only time a clock does this is if it's noon. So it's 12.
This one's as good as solved.
Yeah.
No puzzle can stop Layton's apprentice.
I brained that one. Once you notice the ticking of a clock, it's impossible to ignore. Rather reminiscent of a heartbeat. Okay. The big clock is all inspiring, even from this distance. Oh, I think I heard the door. Someone's here. That must be my husband. Wait till you see the little gem I picked up today, love. Oh, my customers. Welcome back, dear. This here's Professor Layton. He tells me he has some business with the shop. Layton? You're Professor Layton. My apologies, I wasn't expecting you so soon. No apologies necessary, my good man. Oh, and allow me to introduce my apprentice. I'm the professor's apprentice, Luke. Nice to meet you, sir. Luke, you say? What I mean to say are those some fine manners. Nice to meet you too, lad. The name's Cog. Tell me, Cog, you seem a bit flustered by our arrival. We certainly don't mean to impose. Oh, no, no, no. It's no imposition at all. I can read. It's just I had instructions to show you our biggest clock upon your arrival. It quite certainly is a beauty. Pity it's not working. Yes, I plan to give her a tune-up before you stopping by so you could see her in all her glory. Now that I'm getting on in age, I have trouble remembering to keep the old girl in good repair. To be honest, I can't recall the last time where the last year goes, and with the last gear goes, and without it, I can't start up the clock. Ah, well, it certainly makes sense why our arrival might have taken you off guard. Tell me, the papers say you're a learned man. Surely you can figure out where this gear goes, yes? Me? I'd like to help, but I'm no mechanical engineer, you see. Oh, at least give it a try. Don't you want to see the biggest clock in its full working splendor? I certainly do. Very well, I'll give it a shot. Really just used his... This is quite literally a thing of your reputation precedes you. The paper says you're a learned man. You should be able to figure this out. I might break it. The paper says that you know what you're doing. You're not taking no for an answer here. Your task is to make the top and bottom cogs turn clockwise as shown by the red arrows in the diagram. In order to do this, which extra cog should be inserted? A, B, or C? Okay.
What is going on here?
And just where in the world are we?
Why was his immediate thought, oh shit, and went to go check the outside? Why was that his immediate thought? That's all I'm saying. Lucky guess, no logic. You just said that I had big brain abilities, so I don't want to hear it. Those two sentences cannot coexist here. How long have I been live? About an hour and 30. Is this the future? Ooh, spooky. Go into future. Hey, the door just slammed behind us and now it's locked. Well, that's not very polite. Does appear that we've been shut out. Why does everything look so much different out here than just a few moments ago? Honestly, I don't know. But seeing as we can't get back into the clock shop right now, why don't we take a good look around the area? London warped. When Professor Layton and Luke emerge from the clock shop, the streets of London look quite different. What could explain the baffling turn of events? Boy, be careful around these parts. We're doing quite a bit of construction here, you see? Goodness, you certainly do work quickly. I don't recall seeing any of this last time we passed through. When did you start to work? That's a good question. I'd say it's been about a year. We haven't gotten much work done since we're short-handed. A year? Come on, quit messing with us. Curious. I'm positive there was no construction going on when I walked by a short while ago. No construction at all? Look, I know progress hasn't been speedy, but I'm doing the best I can, friend. If you're gonna make fun, beat it, will ya? I'm busy here. I'm sure you're right, Professor. There wasn't any construction going on before. Yeah, almost like you're in the future, idiots. I know London like the back of my hand, but this area feels quite foreign to me. How odd. I was gonna say, how would he know London that well? But then I remembered London is very small compared to a lot of big towns in the US. So... Holy Stilton on a stick, Great Cheshire on a chimney. Are you? Nah, couldn't be. I'm sorry, have we met before? Phew, I thought it was real trouble when I saw that hat of yours. But it's clear it ain't you who were through here. It seems we got nothing to talk about. Beat it. Okay. Oh, it looks like this door's unlocked. Interesting. Duck in for a moment. Ooh, a bar. Maybe we should get Luke out of here. We're breaking a couple laws. Okay. Okay. We'll go for 2 hours-ish, because I want to make more headway than what I have. Just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. So, 2 hours-ish. Depending on if I get invested or not, because we are also only in the first hour of the game. Okay. Okay, so it turns us around. That's a little weird, but okay. Hey there! Hello? What can I help you with? Never mind, it's nothing really. Oh, don't run away. It gets so lonely around here without anyone to talk to. Oh, is that so? I appreciate your concern, lad. Not many youngsters would stop by this old man to listen to his problems. Here's a little something for your kindness. A puzzle! Even though we're constantly passing through time, sometimes it can be difficult to think about the way time flows. If yesterday's day after tomorrow is Sunday, what is tomorrow's day before yesterday? Okay. Okay. Ugh. So, if yesterday's day after tomorrow, yesterday's day after tomorrow is Sunday. Okay. Yesterday's day after tomorrow is Sunday. So then Friday, right? Yesterday's day after tomorrow, so we're moving 2 days ahead. So, yeah, we're at Friday. What is tomorrow's day before yesterday? Right? What is tomorrow's day before Friday? We're just going back to Friday?
How about this? I knew it!
Don't ask how I got that conclusion. I don't even fully know. It's easy to figure out once you break it down. Yesterday's day after tomorrow is Sunday. Oh. So I fucked up on the first one. Incorrect equation, correct answer. It happens on occasion, I guess. What has me concerned is that there's a 1 next to it. And that 1 means that there are multiple of this type of puzzle. Well, aren't you the smart one? A clever lad like you deserves a present. Here. Oh, what is it? A picture book. The very definition of fun. Hey. Oh, well, I'm a bit old for picture books, in case you didn't notice. For a normal picture book, sure. But this one's special, see? Special how? Well, if you open it, you'll notice whole portions of the book are blank. Thanks? Oh. Okay. Not stashing, snarfing. Picture book minigame has been added to the trunk. Collect more stickers to restore missing parts of the story. I thought it was just make your own scenes. Okay, it is. Oh, you follow the story up top. Okay. I don't. One sunny morning, I was strolling through the meadow. As I approached a tree on my right, I noticed a as I approached a plum tree on my right, I noticed a man in the middle of the path and a yellow thing to the left. Okay, well, I don't have a yellow thing. Tree, person, yellow thing, purple thing. Okay. I don't think I can figure out where the other one goes. Okay, well I talked to the man. Does that mean I can go further? No. No, it does not. I have to talk to the lady. Welcome, sirs. Please make yourselves at home. Oh my, that hat of yours. Good day, madam. It's certainly a charming cafe. Tell me, when did you go into business? Go into business? Well, we've been running the place for 2 or 3 years now. But the cafe itself has been around much longer. Must be coming up on 50 at this point. I see. I have one more question, if you don't mind. I stopped by earlier and noticed your business closed. Why wait till evening to close your doors? Closed? You sure you just came by here? This place is open bright and early every day. It doesn't really get busy till later on, but what can you do? Oh, since you seem like a nice enough fellow, give me a tip with your loose hat. My hat? Why would I do that? I'd rather not go into details, but let's just say that hat could get you in trouble. Okay. So Layton in the future is not a good person. This area is unfamiliar as well. I'm sure I've never been here before. Yes, that's quite clear something's going on here that I don't even fully understand. Oh, wait, I have an idea about what happened. We must have left the clock shop from a different exit. We're probably taking a different route away from the shop. No, that can't be right. Think about when we left the shop, Luke. We left through the same door we used to enter the shop. Of that I'm sure. Yeah, I suppose you're right, Professor. But what else could explain the change in scenery? Perhaps our surroundings will shed some light on things. Let's investigate the vicinity a bit more. I'm a little worried for Layton. They hate rats? Well, I would hope in the future they hate rats. Especially at a cafe. Although I do think it'd be a little funny if for this game and this game alone he has to change his hat. What? What is it? I didn't know anything. I swear, I know nothing. Are you right, sir? You're dripping with perspiration. May I suggest a calming cup of tea? I apologize for the sweat, sir, and I'll get on the tea right away. Wow, he sure took off in a hurry. Have you noticed that a lot of people have been acting awfully nervous around you? I certainly have, though I can't understand why. My hat in particular seems to have made many people we've met feel uncomfortable. I don't know why anyone would be afraid of you or your hat. After all, it's not like you go around terrorizing folks when I'm not around. Maybe he does. You don't know that. He is a professor, after all. Many people in town seem to fear Professor Layton, but what reason could they possibly have to fear the mild and gentlemanly professor? Does it have something to do with his hat? Yeah, just take it off, moron. Seriously, like, it's that fucking simple. Of course, I've played the game. I know why he doesn't. But, like, come on! It is a simple solution to your problem, sir! This place is a mess. That droopy flower even has a bug swarming on it. Oh my god. Okay, so this is where the old lady is. This is where Granny Riddle is. Watch your words, Luke. After all, you don't want to offend the lady, do we? Yeah. I had a feeling that was where you were going with this. Or I should say, this used to come and stay with me. It's about to change. What? You might not be able to tell from the looks, but I'm no spring chicken. Thus too old to be tired. What? I already know what's happening here. Oh, was that lore? You don't think he walks around harassing people? Well, maybe not walking around, but he's a professor at a college. He's probably harassing them in the classroom. He's probably a stickler. You know what I mean? He's probably the guy that never shows up but is constantly assigning 100-point assignments. That's what I mean by it's probably warranted. I think it can be established at this point he is not a very good professor. So maybe that's it. Maybe he has a reputation for just obliterating people during the midterm. If he were to go on Rate My Professor, his score would be terrible. Yeah. Puzzly day? Unusual conversation that was. Be sure to come back here later. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't think he's walking around harassing people. I think it's just he's just a terrible professor. It's either that or, I don't know, he did something stupid. What happened to the bus stop? It's in shambles. The bus stop looks like it's about to fall over. Yes, it looks as if no one's used it in ages. How can that be? We just arrived here hours ago. It looked fine then. Looks like something posted on the side of the stop. Let's see what it says. Well? I don't understand this at all. What do you mean? The sign says the service on this line has been discontinued. I bet you'll end up being a teacher yourself. You know, many people said that throughout my childhood, and you know what I figured out? I don't like people. So I fucking doubt it. Just to show other professors how it should be done. Look, not all professors are bad. However, there seems to be a surplus of them. As in any industry. Because people are people and people are assholes. Given the appearance of this bus stop, I don't doubt it. Yes, but the strange part is the date on the notice is 5 years in the future. What? Luke, let me have a look at that. Professor, I just had a sudden thought. Could we have possibly traveled to the future? It's true, we've encountered much here to suggest. We're no longer in the London we know. Just the same, I believe it's a bit early to leap to that conclusion, Luke. Let's see what we can find out by exploring the strange place. A person. Do I dare approach this person? Are they gonna run off again? Perhaps. You in the tall hat. You would happen to be Professor Layton, would you? I am. And who might you be, sir? It's not important. Right now what's important, I have an urgent letter. Before I go handing it over, I need you to verify your identity. We've got a puzzle picked out just for that purpose, so get to solving. Fun. I'm already being harassed. I haven't even been in the future for like 5 minutes. Can you fit them into the shape of the professor's hat without overlapping the pieces or leaving any spaces empty? Okay. Oh, I can turn the pieces. Just left and right, or? Okay, only... Oh, okay. So, if we put that there... And then... You fit that. And then that. Come on. Twist for me. There we go.
That should do the trick.
Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
just as I suspected.
These future ID checks are crazy. I know, right? These 5 blocks actually spell Layton in Japanese. Pretty cool, huh? I did not know that. Sir, to verify your ID, please do this puzzle. Alright, I'm convinced, Professor. Here's your letter. Let's see what it says.
Professor, if you're reading this, it means you've made it safely to my time. I can hardly wait to see you again. I wish to enlist your help in freeing this town from the tragedy that has befallen it. But first, I'm sure you'll want some proof that you're actually in the future. I've thought long and hard about the best way of convincing you. Make your way through town to the address below. What you find there is sure to quell any doubts. Room 312, Green Hospital, 123 Auckland Lane.
Are we about to see the professor's future self? In the hospital? Dying? Old? Well, I think our next destination's been decided for us. Let's pay the hospital a visit. Sounds good, Professor, but how do we get to Auckland Lane? Be easy if the buses were still running, but unfortunately that's not the case. Perhaps that woman over there knows a different way to get around town. Future Luke. This young man sent Professor Layton a letter claiming to be Luke from the future. But who is he really? Excuse me, we're trying to get to Auckland Lane, but the buses don't seem to run there anymore. You're right about that. Those buses were shut down when I moved to this city 2 years ago. 2 years ago, but the sign says the buses won't stop running for another 5. 5 years? Goodness no, you best recheck that math. That notice is 5 years old. That can't be right, unless... Luke, that's enough. He just wants someone to stay with him during his appointment. It'd be a funny reason to drag his ass to the future. I do apologize for my friend, madam. Tell me, do you find the lack of bus service in the area to be an inconvenience? Here? Not at all. Whenever I need public transportation, I just take the Underground Railway. There's a stop on Flatstone Street. You two must be tourists, yes? All your questions, you should stop by the hotel on Southern Street. It's just down this road. The staff there can help you wherever you need to go. Thank you for your assistance, madam. Tourists? Us? I was born and raised here. I've been in London longer than she has. Now, Luke, there's no need to get all wound up. Let's find that hotel. I'm late. Ow, 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 ow. I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there. Ouch, skinned my knee. Give me a kiss and make it all better. Huh? That is a child! What? No! Stay back! Don't get any closer! Luke, watch your tone. Remember, a gentleman always remains kind when having conversation with a lady. Oh, your name's Fluke! I have to go right now, but I'll see you in my rendezvous later, dreamboat. That is a child. Actually, my name's Luke. She ran off. What an unusual young lady. It's a nice way of putting it, Professor. Yeah, also, Luke is a child. It is a whole-ass 13-year-old. Hi there, we're looking for this hotel on Southern Street. Is this Southern Street? Bzz, incorrect. So we aren't on Southern Street? Ding, ding, ding. You're in the neighborhood. The neighborhood of correct, that is. Professor, I'm having a hard time making heads or tails of what he's saying. He's trying to help, Luke. You just need to go about asking it in a different way. Watch. Hello there, young man. Tell me, is Southern Street east of here? Ding, ding, ding. Correct. And there's a hotel located there, yes? Ding, ding, ding. Correct again. Just look for the building with the white walls up ahead. Thank you. All right, Luke. Unless our friend here is mistaken, we should head east to reach our destination. If you say so, Professor. Luke is very wary about being here, and I would say that is probably the most correct option. Person. Oh, you did not just try to talk to me. Do I look like I want to be talked to? I'm terribly sorry. Got some nerve wearing that hat. You do? Yeah, nerve but no brains. What's wrong with my hat? Do I look like I'm talking to you, Pipsqueak? No, I'm talking to your friend up there with the big hat. Me? Well, I don't see anything wrong with my hat either, sir. Listen, you, I don't see anything wrong with my hat. It's like you want me to rearrange your face. That's it, time to teach you a lesson. Solve this puzzle. In the 20s, 13-year-olds today are like 30. I bet Layton is just 18. I don't think you can be a professor at 18. I think you need more than a bachelorette to be a professor. You know what I mean? He's gotta have at least a master, you know what I mean? But then again, it's never, like, really stated. What are the qualifications to be a professor at a college? College professors typically hold a doctorate in their field. Earning a PhD takes 4 to 6 years and requires a dissertation. So considering he's called Professor Layton, he needs to have at least a PhD. And I thought the game was gonna give us the first combat mechanic. Yeah, I know, right? I thought I was gonna have to beat the shit out of this guy. But yeah, I guess because he holds the title of professor, he has a PhD. So, PhDs take, like, 6 years. 4 if he's on an elevated track. So, let's say he was 18 going in. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. By the time he finishes his, bachelor. 24 by the time, if we're going with the ladder of 4 years extra, right? So when he first graduated, he's between the ages of 24 and 28, right? He has to be between the ages of 24 and 28 when he graduated. If not, he's like around his 30s, which would also make sense for people getting a doctorate, because they probably work while they're getting their master's, and then like maybe a year or something passes and they're like, yeah, I'll go get my doctorate. But if he's on the 4 years, which is honestly probably more likely, he probably more likely only has a master's considering the time frame. We're gonna go with 24-ish. 24, 25. Because not all professors need a PhD, right? Like, if we're going about it in terms of rank, let's assume he at least has, like, his master's. It's the 20s point. So do you think at that time they would care about a PhD? The mayor just probably wrote him a letter. Boom, professor. Maybe? Do you think he became a professor at a college, though, at 22? He's gotta have, at the very least, a master's. You know what I mean? Like, at the very least, he has to have a master's and on-field experience, because he's an archaeologist. He's not an anthropologist, right? Yep, this bone is old, pretty much. So we'll say he's 24, 25 by the time he graduates. And let's be a bit lenient here and give him at least 1 year cumulative of on-field experience. Although I'm sure he probably fucking didn't. He's probably just an academic archaeologist, not like actual on-field shit. However, for him to get approved for all of these outings that I'm assuming take place during the time school's running, he probably is an on-field archaeologist. So let's keep it at 26 by the time he graduates. Let's assume like 10 years passed between that and the first game. So then we're looking at Layton being around 36 by the time the first games would come around. Meaning now he'd be over like around 46. Because we're 10 years in the future. He'd be around 46. Ish. He'd be in his 40s. Like, let's assume a good 10 years have passed and he's been a professor for that long, considering the kind of reputation he has. Anyway. Puzzle's super easy. All you have to do is place each of the 7 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, plus and equals into the square and arrow it's pointing to. Oh, and one more thing. The equation created by the cards has to be valid. Okay, these can be moved. So, does that mean I can turn that into a minus sign? Great. Alright. Equation needs to be valid. So I'll assume 5 is at the end. Also considering that's just where it goes. Alright, so this one goes here. Let's turn the 1 back around. Alright. Alright. 3 plus 4, 4, 5, 7. Okay, so I was correct in assuming this needed to be rotated to a minus. 3 plus 4 minus 2 equals 5.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
I knew there was a stipulation here somewhere.
Just as I suspected.
Doctorate selling snake oil with 2 PhDs and 1 extension. Look. Look. What do you expect, man? It's like the 1920s. Well, someone's smarter than he looks. I'll let you off with a warning this time, alright? If you go wearing that hat tomorrow, things will get ugly. And by things, I mean your face. Okay. Good day, young lady. Can you tell us if this building here is a hotel? Oh, good day, gentlemen. If you're looking for a hotel, you've come to the right place. Hotel Duke is one of the famous and most finest. Will you do us the honor of staying with us? For a famous hotel, you keep an awfully low profile. First time I've heard of Duke Hotel. Well, there's a simple explanation for that. See, we're a hotel for ladies and gentlemen with discriminating tastes. I can't say we're as popular as the primary school crowd, little boy. Okay. Our friend here doesn't take kindly to your besmirching of her hotel, Luke. Well, young lady, thanks for your help. That was an insult to end all insults. Man just got laid flat and then held back. Really, he's just turning Luke into a fucking gnat. If you failed that puzzle, would Layton have gotten a black eye? That would have been funny. But I mean, his eye is already like a perfect fucking circle. How do you bruise that? How do you make that bruised? You just make it purple? Welcome to Hotel Duke, one of London's finest and most esteemed establishments. Oh, hello again. I ran ahead and took the liberty of preparing a suite for you two. May I help with your bags? Oh, that was nice of you, but we just wanted to ask directions to the railway station. Perhaps you might reconsider staying with us. You're tourists here, are you not? As you can see, Hotel Duke is centrally located. Stay with us and you'll spend less time traveling around and more time having fun in the city. You do make a compelling argument, young lady. Location is everything. We'll take rooms and directions to the closest underground railway station, if you please. Please, sir, none of that lady stuff. Call me Becky. Oh, and could I please ask you to sign the hotel guest book? Professor, are we really gonna stay here? Indeed we are. Somehow you and I managed to get ourselves lost in an unfamiliar area. As Becky noted, having a central location to return to while we're here could prove very useful. If I were Layton, I would not put my actual name down. But clearly, he was brought up as a rich white boy in London, so he would not have that level of street smarts. Why the fuck would you write your actual name, moron? People here don't like you already. They're gonna fucking find you. You know what I mean? My goodness, hello. You'll have to forgive me. I didn't see you two come in. Welcome to Hotel Duke, home of exemplary service and the world's best breakfast. I'm Margaret, the hotel manager. Should you need anything, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks, but what about lunch and dinner? Aren't those the best as well? It seems we have a little gourmand here. Rest easy, young man. For lunch, we offer sandwiches on fresh baked, pillowy, soft bread. I can read. And if you enjoy a good roast, I suggest you order in for dinner, as ours is the best in the city. You know, Professor, I've changed my mind. I quite like this place. Let's stay here. Yes, our sandwiches tend to have that effect on people. Now, if you could just... Oh, dear. What's wrong? We've got 4 pens here, but I think only one of them has ink left in it. Oh, great. Bro, you want to know the easiest answer to this one? Take it apart. Take it apart and look. Okay, one of the 4 pens here shown below actually works. Here are some clues to help identify it. All 4 pens currently have the wrong colored caps, you don't say. When assembled correctly, all 4 pens will have one white section. The working pen is the left of the one that should have the green cap. What? Okay, so the caps are wrong immediately. When assembled correctly, all 4 pens have one white section. The working pen is to the left of the one that should have the green cap. So we're just messing with the caps then, I guess. So none of them are in the correct order, but we have 2 repeating. So if we were to move... But this is blue, and this is blue, just move them down. Then put white and green. Right? Because then, if none of them are in the correct order, these 2 can't, have the same cap, so just move them down, you know what I mean? What does it want me to do? All 4 pens have one white section. White, white, that's white, and that's white, white. The working pen is to the left of the one that should have the green cap. So, see?
How about this?
Bread is considered a gourmet meal.
No puzzle can stop Layton's apprentice.
Yep. And C is correct. Ah, that's the one. Now, if you'd be so kind as to sign in. Very well. 2 hours? Okay, give me a second. You're all set now, Professor Layton. Oh, and you seem to be Luke. Becky will now show you to your quarters. Did Layton sign in as Professor Layton? He didn't even write out his full name. He just went, Professor Layton. You know what I mean? He didn't even put his full name down. He's like, yep, my first name, Professor. He definitely is just hated because he's the worst professor known to man. 100% he's just hated because he's the worst professor known to man. We're showing you two to your quarters now, Professor Layton. My name's Becky. Should you need anything, don't hesitate to call on me. We know your name, Becky. Do you remember you gave it to us earlier? Remember? And I'm Luke. And there's no need to be formal. All that politeness makes me feel awkward. Shh, my granny's a stickler for formal service. I need to stay polite while we're in earshot. Oh, gotcha. Now, if you two gentlemen are ready, let me escort you to your quarters. Right this way. Wow, pretty. This room has the best view in the hotel. You lucky ducks totally scored. I sign as Dr. Harlock sometimes. What's the problem? I don't know if that's the best option. Did you hear that, Professor? We lucked out. Yeah, though I guess it's not really luck now that I think about it. See, ever since we moved the hotel to this location, we haven't had a single guest. So Hotel Duke used to be located somewhere else? It's kind of a sensitive subject, so I'd rather not talk about it anymore, but I hope you understand. Say, it was really something the way you solved that puzzle my granny threw at you. Yeah, I'm pretty big on puzzles. Me too. Tell you what, solve a puzzle for me, and I'll tell you two how to get to the railway station. Once we solve this puzzle, we'll end. Alright, a woman is looking for a subway station, but the map she has is missing the station's location. However, the map does have one hint written on the back. To get from the flower shop to the subway station, mimic the path that students take from the school library. What? The smaller squares are buildings. The pencil icon denotes the school, while the book icon denotes the library. Circle the location of the subway station. To get from the flower shop to the subway station, mimic the path that students take home from school to the library. So we'll assume that it's like that pattern. No, that one doesn't. Right? No. Hold on. Hold on. So we'll assume it's... So... If we... 1, 2, over 1, over up. It's rotated that way. So if we do a you can't go 2 down that way. If we do a up, over, down. This one.
Here's my answer.
Ah.
I knew it!
Yeah, I figured it out. I got a big brain. I'll have you know. Nicely done. Okay. So you're trying to get to the Underground Railway, right? It's not too far. Just keep going east once you leave the hotel. Soon you'll pop out into Flatstone Street, head north, and the station will be on your right. Thanks, Becky. I think we can manage from here. Oh, but wait, one more thing. What is it? It's a bit of a detour, so you should head straight through the arcade. You should head straight through the arcade on the north of your way here. There's a restaurant that's just scrumptious. Of course, it's not as delicious as the fare we serve here, but it's still good, you know? The arcade? You mean the area west of the hotel? We walked by that last time. There was an odd little boy blocking the way north. Oh, you must be talking about Max. He pretty much does whatever I tell him to. Just let him know Becky sent you and he'll leave the way right through. Good to know. We might as well head through the arcade as we see a bit more of the area. Okay. We'll save here. We'll save here. And we will end here. Even though I don't want to, but I am forcing myself to. Because I need to get this fucking essay done. So, thank you all for coming out. It's been a pleasure. We'll play more on Wednesday, and we'll see how far I get at that point. And, yeah. We'll see how far I am done with my shit at that point. I'm hoping to be done sometime between Thursday and Friday, but that might be pushing my schedule a bit too far. We'll see, though. Anyway, nice hanging out with you guys. The background will be fixed by the next game, so it's not... next stream, so it's not absolutely god-awful. Next stream will probably be more Professor Layton, just because... obviously. But, yeah. It'll be, something. It'll be this game. But, you know, I can't speak